My dad's new wife made me eat in the garage during Christmas dinner because I didn't call her mom. Then my dad defended her, so I did this, and they came begging. I, female, 21, lost my mom to breast cancer about a year and a half ago, and now my dad, male, 48, wants me to call his new wife mom, and I can't. And now I'm sitting in my roommate's house instead of being with my family for Christmas because of it. So, like some background, I guess. My mom and dad were together for 25 years, and we were super close. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and it was awful watching her decline. She fought really hard for about 8 months, but in the end, it wasn't enough. I was in my sophomore year of college when she passed. I'm now in my junior year, studying education because my mom was a kindergarten teacher, and I've always wanted to follow in her footsteps. Anyway, my dad was completely devastated at first, like couldn't get out of bed, not eating properly, the whole thing. But then he recovered super fast, like suspiciously fast. Within a few months, he was going out again, seemed weirdly cheerful sometimes. I was already back at college, about 2 hours from home, so I'd only come back some weekends. Then about 7 months after Mom died, 7 months, he introduced us to Sharon, female, 39. She seemed nice enough at first, kind of quiet and trying really hard to be liked. I remember thinking she laughed way too much at all my dad's jokes, and trust me, my dad is not that funny. But then literally 6 weeks later, my dad announced they were getting married. I'm sorry, but who does that? I tried to be supportive because he seemed happy, but then they scheduled the wedding for what would have been my parents' 25th anniversary. When I brought this up to my dad privately, because I didn't want to seem like I was attacking Sharon or whatever, he said it was a way of honoring your mother's memory. I couldn't even respond to that. How the fuck is marrying someone else on your anniversary with Mom honoring anything? That seems like the opposite of honoring her memory. The wedding was super small and rushed, like barely 20 people there, and thrown together in like 2 weeks. I know I probably should have refused to go or something, but I didn't want to hurt my dad more than he was already hurting, even if he was hiding it with this weird rebound marriage. I'm not usually the type to make a scene, but the whole thing felt so wrong. Of all the days they could have picked for their wedding, it had to be my parents' anniversary. Really. My sister Lily, female, 16, has been more accepting of Sharon. But I mean, she still lives at home, so I get why she doesn't want to rock the boat. Plus, she's younger, and I think she's just desperate to have some kind of maternal figure around. But even Lily has told me privately that it feels weird how quickly everything happened. Anyway, over the past year, Sharon has basically been erasing my mom from our house. She repainted all the rooms. My mom loved color, and Sharon has made everything beige and gray, replaced furniture, took down family photos, and I recently found out she's been giving away some of my mom's personal items, claiming they were collecting dust. Oh, and I found out through my aunt, my dad's sister, that Sharon convinced my dad to take down several family photos that included my mom from the living room walls just days before I came home for Christmas break. Like she was trying to hide evidence of my mom before I got there. What the frick? When I asked my dad about it, he just said they were redecorating, and I was reading too much into things. I know I'm probably not being completely fair to Sharon. To be honest, I haven't exactly tried to get to know her. I've been pretty cold to her from the beginning, but it's just so hard to watch someone try to replace my mom when I'm still grieving her. I don't know what my dad is thinking or feeling. Maybe he's still grieving and this is his way of coping, but it feels like he's just trying to pretend my mom never existed, and that hurts. But the worst part is that Sharon insists we call her mom. My sister eventually gave in after weeks of Sharon making comments and giving her the cold shoulder. But I have refused. I already had a mom, a great mom, and Sharon has been in my life for like a year. I'm not calling her mom. I can't. It feels like such a betrayal. I should also mention that my mom's parents used to come over all the time for family dinners and stuff. They live like 20 minutes away and were super involved in our lives. Now they're basically never invited because Sharon says they make her feel judged. They're the sweetest people ever and have never been anything but polite to her. At least from what I've seen. I can't know for sure what they say when I'm not around, but I really doubt they've been rude to her. My relationship with my dad has gone to complete shit because of all this. He takes Sharon's side in every disagreement. Every single one. He keeps telling me I need to make an effort because Sharon is sensitive about being accepted. What about my feelings? What about the fact that I'm still grieving my actual mother? My dad was never like this when my mom was alive. He always stood up for us and put family first. Now it's like he's a completely different person. So anyway, I came home for Christmas break with major anxiety, but trying to make the best of it for my sister's sake. As soon as I walked in, I noticed all the Christmas decorations were different. My mom used to put up all the ornaments my sister and I made over the years, plus some old family ones. Sharon replaced everything with matching silver and blue store-bought ornaments. It didn't even feel like our house anymore. Then Sharon announced we wouldn't be making any of my mom's traditional family recipes for Christmas dinner because she wanted to start new traditions. My mom made cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning that were our special thing. I was looking forward to making them this year to feel connected to her. But no, Sharon made store-bought pastries instead. Like, at least try to make homemade ones if you're going to replace a tradition. And the day before Christmas, Sharon casually mentioned that she had, unfortunately, had to uninvite my maternal grandparents because there just wasn't enough room, which is complete bullshit because we've hosted them every year before. Plus, other people were coming, like Sharon's sister and her husband, so clearly there was room, just not for my mom's parents. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but I swear what happened at Christmas dinner happened exactly like this. Sharon had everyone hold hands for a Christmas prayer. She thanked God for bringing us together as a family and said she was grateful that both her new daughters had welcomed her as their mother. I felt my whole body tense up, but didn't say anything during the prayer because I'm not that disrespectful. When it ended, Sharon asked me to pass the mom's special gravy, which, by the way, was not my mom's recipe. I passed it saying, "Here's the gravy, Sharon," and definitely emphasized her name. She got this weird tight smile and told me I should have called it Mom's Gravy. I said no, she's not my mom, and she got really offended. My dad told me to stop being difficult. Sharon said she wouldn't tolerate disrespect at her Christmas table and gave me an ultimatum: call her mom or eat in the garage. I looked at my dad, waiting for him to defend me, but he just told me to do what Sharon was asking. I was fighting back tears at this point, but I grabbed my plate and went to the unheated garage. My sister texted me asking if I was okay, but what could she even do? Meanwhile, I could hear them all laughing inside while I sat there freezing and eating alone. I don't even remember what the food tasted like. I just remember feeling so alone and wondering what my mom would think if she could see this. If she could see how quickly Dad replaced her and how he was letting this woman erase every trace of her. I know I probably could have handled it better. I tend to get defensive and shut down instead of communicating clearly. Maybe if I had tried to talk to Sharon one-on-one about how I was feeling instead of just being cold to her, things wouldn't have escalated to this point. But at the same time, who tells someone to eat in the garage on Christmas? That's just cruel. I packed my stuff and left first thing the next morning. My dad didn't even come downstairs to say goodbye. My sister snuck down to give me a hug. She was crying and telling me she was sorry, which broke my heart because none of this is her fault. I'm staying with my roommate's family for the rest of break. They've been super nice and welcoming, but I still feel so, empty, lost. I keep having dreams about my mom and waking up crying. I feel like I'm losing not just her memory, but my dad too. He's completely different now. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. Advice, support. Has anyone dealt with something similar? I just feel so alone in this. I miss my mom so much, it physically hurts sometimes. And now I feel like I'm losing my dad too, and I don't know what to do. Edit. Wow. I wasn't expecting this to blow up. Thank you all for the supportive comments. To those asking, yes, I've tried talking to my dad privately about how all this makes me feel, but he just says I need to move on and that Sharon is part of the family now. Some people are asking about the timeline. My mom passed away in June 2022. My dad introduced Sharon to us in January 2023, and they were married by March 2023. Yes, it was that fast. And no, Sharon wasn't around before my mom died, as far as I know. To clarify about the garage situation, since so many are asking, it's detached from the house, not insulated, and it was about 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside that night. There's an old folding table out there where my dad sometimes works on projects, and that's where I ate. And yes, they were serious about making me eat out there. My dad actually walked me to the door. Someone asked if I've thought about therapy. Yes, I went for a few months after my mom died, but had to stop because of money insurance issues. My college has a counseling center, but there's a long wait list. I'm on it though. Now for the first update. Hey everyone. Wow. I wasn't expecting so many comments and messages on my last post. I guess I'll pick up from where I left off. So after I left my dad's house early Christmas morning, like 6 a.m. early, I couldn't stand being there another minute. My phone was blowing up with texts from my dad. He was going off about how I ruined Christmas and made Sharon cry, and how I was being deliberately difficult and disrespectful to their home. Like, excuse me, I'm the one who ruined Christmas, not the woman who made me eat in a freezing garage. I didn't even respond because honestly, what could I even say at that point? My roommate's family was amazing, by the way. They let me crash at their place for the rest of break without making me feel weird about it. Her mom somehow found out about my mom's cinnamon roll tradition. I think I mentioned it while crying one night. It's all kind of a blur, to be honest. Anyway, she actually made them for me the next morning. They weren't exactly like my mom's. Nobody could ever replicate hers exactly. But just the fact that she tried, I literally burst into tears at their breakfast table. So embarrassing, but they were so nice about it. So my sister Lily has been secretly calling me like every day. Apparently things at home have been super uncomfortable. Sharon keeps dramatically sighing whenever my name comes up, like, grow up. And my dad has been really irritable with everyone. Lily says she can hear them fighting at night when they think she's asleep. And get this, Lily overheard Sharon telling my dad that he should reconsider how much he's helping with my college expenses because the money should be reinvested in their new family. What new family? They've been married for like 5 minutes, and I'm his actual family. I swear Sharon is trying to completely isolate my dad from everyone who knew my mom. Speaking of which, I got a call from my mom's mom a few days after Christmas. Turns out Sharon has been systematically cutting my mom's family out for months. She told my grandparents they weren't welcome at several family gatherings throughout the year, claiming that I had specifically requested just immediate family, which is a complete lie. I would never say that about my grandparents. They basically helped raise me when my mom was sick. It made me realize how calculated Sharon has been this whole time. This wasn't just her being insensitive or clueless. She's been deliberately erasing my mom and isolating my dad from anyone who remembers her. It's so messed up. Oh, and then something really interesting happened. I was going through some of my mom's paperwork that I keep in my dorm, important stuff I didn't want to leave at home, and I found documents about a trust fund my mom set up for me and Lily before she died. She must have known she might not make it and wanted to make sure our education was taken care of. The trust was set up so my dad couldn't touch it, and my portion became available when I turned 21, which was literally 2 months ago. I had no idea this money existed because, surprise, surprise, my dad never mentioned it. And by the way, this explains why Sharon suddenly started complaining about my college expenses. She probably found out about the trust and realized my dad didn't need to be paying for everything anymore. And instead of being happy that my mom planned ahead for us, she saw it as money that could be theirs instead. Disgusting. So after finding out about all this, I was just done. I decided the best revenge would be to create the Christmas that should have happened. I used some of the trust fund money to rent a big vacation house for New Year's weekend and planned what I called a real family Christmas celebration. I invited literally everyone, my mom's parents and her brother and his kids, my dad's parents, his sister and her family, all our cousins. I specifically said in the invitation that it was a celebration to honor my mom's memory and continue the family traditions that were being forgotten. I wasn't even sure if anyone from my dad's side would come, but they all said yes, even my dad's parents. Lily asked if she could come too, of course, and said she would bring the family photo albums that Sharon had literally hidden in the attic. Like, who does that? Who hides family photos? So I'm at the grocery store buying stuff for the party when my phone rings and it's my dad. I almost didn't answer but figured I should. He was breathing all heavy and immediately was like, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I tried to stay calm and just said I was hosting a family Christmas gathering. He was like, "You're deliberately trying to hurt Sharon's feelings." And I was like, "No, I'm continuing family traditions that are important to me." Then he accused me of turning the family against them, and I was like, your own parents and sister are coming, so maybe that tells you something. He said I was being childish and manipulative, projection much. And I asked him why preserving my mom's memory was such a threat to him. He started stammering that it wasn't about that, but I could hear Sharon in the background literally demanding that he put a stop to this. Then he threatened to cut off my tuition money if I didn't cancel the party. That's when I told him I knew about the trust fund mom set up. There was this long silence, and then he just hung up. Didn't say another word. The party itself was honestly kind of amazing. My grandma and I made all of my mom's traditional recipes. We set up a memorial table with photos of my mom throughout her life. People shared stories about her all night. There was lots of crying, but also laughing. It felt like the first time since she died that people were really talking about her instead of avoiding mentioning her name. Lily showed up with our aunt and brought not just the photo albums, but also a box of my mom's Christmas ornaments that Sharon had apparently boxed up to throw away. Who throws away family ornaments? Seriously. Almost everyone posted photos on social media with #RealFamilyChristmas and #RememberingCarol. It was like a tribute to my mom. The most surprising part was when my dad's mom pulled me aside late in the evening. She was crying and apologized for not realizing how Sharon had been behaving. She said she had no idea that I had been made to eat Christmas dinner in the garage and was horrified when she found out. She told me she was proud of me for standing up for my mom's memory. I don't think I've cried that hard in months. Just knowing that people on both sides of the family understood and supported me I can't even describe it. For so long, I felt like I was crazy or overreacting or being difficult, but seeing everyone's reactions made me realize I wasn't imagining how messed up the situation was. The morning after the party, Lily texted me saying Dad and Sharon had this massive fight after seeing all the social media posts. Apparently, Sharon threatened to leave if my dad doesn't control his daughters. Good luck with that. I don't know what's going to happen next. Part of me feels bad for causing problems in their marriage, but another part of me feels like if their marriage can't survive my mom being remembered, then maybe it shouldn't survive. Is that terrible of me to say? Anyway, I'm back at school now for spring semester. I feel simultaneously better and worse. Better because I know I'm not alone in wanting to preserve my mom's memory. Worse because I'm worried about Lily having to deal with the fallout at home. I'm honestly not sure what my relationship with my dad looks like going forward. I love him, but I don't recognize the person he's become since meeting Sharon. Edit. A lot of people are asking about the trust fund. From what I can tell, my mom set it up when her diagnosis got really bad. It's specifically for educational expenses, and there's enough to cover the rest of my undergrad, plus some grad school if I decide to go. Lily's portion is held until she turns 21 too. I think my mom must have known that grief does weird things to people and wanted to make sure we were taken care of no matter what. To those asking if my dad might reconcile with me, I honestly don't know. He hasn't reached out since the phone call where I mentioned the trust fund. Lily says he's been really quiet and spending a lot of time alone in his home office. Sharon is apparently giving him the silent treatment. Part of me hopes this is a wake-up call for him, but I'm not counting on it. For those suggesting I take Lily away from that house, believe me, I've thought about it. But she's 16, and legally I can't just take her. Plus, my apartment near campus is tiny, and I have roommates. I've told her she can always come stay with me for weekends, though, and we talk every day. So far, Sharon hasn't been directly mean to her, just dramatic and passive-aggressive, so I'm watching the situation. Now for the second update. Hey Reddit. So, it's been almost 2 months since my last update about the whole real family Christmas thing, and I've been putting off posting because, honestly, everything has been so intense, and I've been trying to just, process it all, I guess. But a lot of you have been messaging me asking for updates. Thanks for caring, by the way. It really means a lot. So, here goes. So after the whole real family Christmas event, my dad completely stopped speaking to me. Total radio silence. Not even a text. Nothing. And Sharon, she blocked me on literally every social media platform. I mean, I didn't even know she had Pinterest, but apparently she does, and yep, blocked there too. My dad's parents, who came to my event, remember, they tried to talk to him about everything. My grandma told me they went over to the house to have like an actual adult conversation about how messed up the whole situation was, especially the garage thing on Christmas, which they were horrified about. But Sharon apparently answered the door and basically told them they were taking Ashley's side against their own son and wouldn't let them in. Like, who does that to their in-laws? These are your husband's parents. I've been trying to distract myself with school stuff since the semester started. Lily has been keeping me updated on the stuff at home, and it sounds like it's been really bad. She says Dad and Sharon have been fighting almost every day. And get this, Sharon started demanding they sell our family home and move to a different neighborhood to get a fresh start away from Carol's memory, the one we grew up in, the one where all our memories with Mom are. Like, is she serious? Oh, and then about 3 weeks after the New Year's event, I got this completely unexpected call from my Aunt Tracy, Dad's sister. She told me my dad had been staying on her couch for like 4 nights after a particularly nasty fight with Sharon. Apparently, Sharon gave him an ultimatum: either cut contact with me entirely or she would file for divorce. When Tracy told me that, I don't even know what I felt. Like, on one hand, I was surprised that Sharon was that controlling. Actually, maybe not that surprised, to be honest. But on the other hand, I was just so hurt that my dad was even considering an ultimatum like that. Like, how could he even think about choosing her over his own daughter? And also, like, go ahead and divorce him, Sharon. Might be the best thing that could happen at this point, but whatever. Things got worse when my mom's parents decided to establish this memorial scholarship in my mom's name at the elementary school where she taught. They planned this small ceremony and invited family members, including my dad. Sharon demanded he not attend, according to Lily. But apparently, for once in his life, my dad actually grew a spine and went anyway. I honestly did not expect to see him there. The whole ceremony was really beautiful. Some of my mom's former students came. They're in middle school now. It was so weird seeing them all grown up. And several of her coworker friends spoke about what an amazing teacher she was. I was standing near the refreshment table after the speeches when I noticed my dad standing awkwardly at the back of the room. I didn't know what to do, but eventually I just went over to him. He looked really bad, like he hadn't slept in days. My dad told me he didn't think I'd come. I told him I didn't think he would either. He said my mom deserves to be remembered, which made me tear up because it was the first time in months he acknowledged my mom's memory was important. He told me he'd been making a lot of mistakes. I just waited for him to say more. He told me Sharon was staying with her sister for a while and that he'd started seeing a grief counselor. When he said he should never have let me eat in the garage, I agreed with him because I wasn't going to just let that go. We just stood there in this super uncomfortable silence for like a full minute. Felt like an hour, to be honest. Then he asked if we could talk properly sometime. I told him I'd think about it. I did think about it, and a few days later, I agreed to meet him for coffee at this neutral place halfway between campus and his work. And oh my freaking God, he started crying really hard in the middle of this coffee shop. I was so embarrassed at first, but then, I don't know, it was kind of a relief to see him finally showing some actual emotion. He admitted he never properly grieved Mom's death and basically rushed into the relationship with Sharon as a way to escape his pain. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Could have told you that a year ago. He said he let Sharon erase Mom from our lives because it was easier than facing his grief. He told me they were formally separated now and he'd moved into an apartment near Lily's school. The weirdest part was when he said seeing everyone celebrate Mom's life at the memorial scholarship thing was like this huge wake-up call about how much he had betrayed her memory. I mean, duh. But at least he finally realized it, I guess. But then, oh my freaking God, you guys. About a week after that coffee meeting, Sharon showed up at my dorm room, like out of nowhere. No warning, nothing. I opened my door and there she was, looking all disheveled and weird. She asked if she could come in and her voice was all different, not her usual fake, sweet, confident tone. I let her in but left the door open. No way was I being alone with her with the door closed. She sat on the edge of my desk chair, clutching her purse like she was afraid I might steal it or something. Sharon told me my father was throwing away our marriage. I basically told her that wasn't my problem. Her eyes narrowed before she forced a fake, soft expression. She said she may have been too forceful about replacing my mom, which made me scoff because that was such an understatement. Then she started telling me how she lost her own mother when she was young and never had closure. And for like a split second, I actually felt bad for her. But then she immediately shifted and told me we could start fresh if I helped her get back with my father. And I realized she was still trying to manipulate me. She wasn't actually sorry at all. I told her she needed to apologize for her behavior, not justify it. That's when she got mad and snapped at me, saying she'd done everything for our family. I just calmly said she hadn't respected my mother's memory. She left in tears, telling me I'd regret breaking up our family. What family? The one she tried to force by erasing my actual mother. In the weeks since all this happened, my dad has continued therapy and has actually been making real efforts to rebuild our relationship. He drives to campus every week just to have dinner with me. We talk about mom a lot now, like actual conversations about her and our memories of her. It's been really good, actually. He brought me this box of mom's belongings that Sharon had hidden away, including these letters mom had written to me and Lily before she died. Reading those, God, I can't even describe what that felt like. Her handwriting and her words it was like having a piece of her back. I literally slept with the letters under my pillow the first few nights. Lily says Sharon has made several attempts to get back with Dad, each time promising to accept his daughters, but never actually apologizing for her behavior. Like, she just doesn't get it. And then last weekend, Sharon showed up unannounced at Dad's apartment while Lily and I were visiting. She started crying in the hallway, begging Dad to come home and saying she couldn't live without him. It was so awkward and uncomfortable. Dad told her that respecting Mom's memory and his daughter's was non-negotiable. She finally apologized to me for the Christmas dinner incident and her behavior afterward while crying. I acknowledged it, but made it super clear to both of them that rebuilding trust would take time. Dad told Sharon he needed to continue living separately and focusing on fixing his relationship with us before considering any kind of getting back together. She looked really upset when he said that. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. I don't know what's going to happen with them. Part of me still thinks Dad should just divorce her and move on, but I'm trying not to push my opinions on him too much. The important thing is he's recommitted to honoring Mom's memory. He has photos of her up in his new apartment, and we're bringing back a lot of the family traditions that Sharon tried to erase. The most amazing thing was finding this note from Mom in the box of her stuff. She wrote it during her final days, and it said, "Love them enough to stand your ground when it matters, and forgive them when they finally understand." I've been trying to follow that advice, standing firm about honoring Mom while leaving the door open for healing when there's actual understanding and remorse. I'm not gonna lie, it's still really hard sometimes. I still miss my mom every single day. I still get angry when I think about how quickly Dad moved on and how Sharon tried to erase Mom. But things feel, more hopeful now. Like maybe we can actually heal as a family, even if that family looks different than it used to. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I've forgiven my dad completely. Honestly, no. I'm working on it, but trust takes time to rebuild. He really hurt me, and even though I understand grief makes people do weird things, that doesn't excuse everything that happened. To the people asking about Sharon's future with our family, I don't know. That's up to my dad ultimately. I've made it clear I'll be civil if she's genuinely respectful of my mom's memory and apologetic about her past behavior, but we're never going to be close, and I'm definitely never calling her mom. About the memorial scholarship, it's for underprivileged kids who want to become teachers. My mom was always helping students who couldn't afford school supplies, so it feels like the perfect way to honor her. The first scholarship will be awarded next fall. Some people are asking about Lily's relationship with Sharon now. It's complicated. Lily says she feels caught in the middle sometimes, but she's been spending most weekends at Dad's new apartment. Sharon has tried to bribe her with gifts several times. Yikes. But Lily's been really mature about it all.